The following program was paid for by Southern American Media. Fox 30 WGBC invites you to the talk of all the towns in East Mississippi and West Alabama. Welcome to Mornings with Scotty Ray and Candace.
And good morning. After 11 years, she returns.
What did somebody just say? It's the reunion tour.
It is.
Part 3. Oh, no, that's exclamations. Forget that.
Good morning to everyone. This is Deb.
Hey.
If you're not aware of who Debbie is, those watching for the first time, we did radio together for 16 years.
We sure did.
Candace has
16
got the
years.
week off to take a little vacation, and thank you for coming in for filling in.
Well, look, after several attempts to get me to fill in for Candace while she's on vacation, I finally said, okay.
You gave
you
in.
kind of,
I put it to you.
you did.
Yeah.
Not that I didn't want to, but I've just been super busy in my life and getting up this early. And, I work from home now, and so trying to get ready is a whole ordeal for me.
You make excuses. Let's just
I
go
had
ahead.
a lot of excuses. I always have excuses.
One after the other. And as Debbie has gotten older, I noticed one thing. I want to share this with everybody. I want to show this
well, thank you, Scotty Ray.
Well, no. Look at this, y'all. Look at this purse that she now totes.
What? Look, that's not my purse. I have my laptop.
That is that's grandma's purse
That's my laptop case, Scotty Ray.
That is a purse.
That is a laptop case. My purse is, if you see those brown straps, that's my purse sitting in there.
What do you got, ham sandwiches and everything else in it?
No, I've got my laptop. I got my work computer, and I don't know, probably some hairspray, something like that. Hey, I do want to say thank you to Lucinda, because when Scotty Ray asked me to do this, like a lot of people have been working from home, and I kind of, let my hair grow really long, and it was like 9 inches of gray hair. And I called Lucinda and I said, girl, do some energy drinks. Get ready, because I'm about to come in and you're going to, and it took her like 4 hours.
Poor Lulu.
But I know. I don't know why I let it go so long, but I work from home and I can put filters on my Zoom calls, unlike you do here.
Yeah.
But I put filters on it. I set back. I position myself just right, and you can't really tell. It's all gray, and my hair is like 10 feet long.
I hadn't seen that name in a long time.
Who is it?
The Breakfast Bunch.
Do you know I always hated that name?
Breakfast Bunch.
Well, I'm going to tell you, I didn't hate it. So when I first started in radio, actually, I was on the Breakfast Bunch before you were on the Breakfast Bunch.
You and Earl.
It was Earl and Jay. And the Breakfast Bunch, because I was young then, I was like 35, which was really young.
Sure.
And I thought Breakfast Bunch just sounded like a bunch of old men sitting around talking. Well, it kind of was. And anyway, after a while, when Scotty Ray took Earl's place, we kept trying to figure out a way to get rid of the Breakfast Bunch. And so we would slowly but surely try to take it out of the morning show, right?
Yeah.
We would drop it and not say it, and then we'd kind of get called on the carpet for it, and then we'd have to say it again. But we eventually changed it to the morning show.
Yeah, it was Scotty Ray and Debbie, period.
Yeah,
at the,
Scotty
at
Ray
the
and
end
Debbie.
is what happened there.
Yes,
Franklin, Tennessee is joining us. Rolando.
Rolando, I don't know. I know a lot of people in Franklin. That's where my mom was born.
Oh.
Yeah, she was born and raised in Franklin.
Duck Hill joining us there. Gene Hines is up today. Also, Joy Suttle. How are you doing there?
Look, it's so nice to see all these folks. Hey.
And Heather said she loved it. And, that's another problem that you hadn't really helped with is weather. All you got to do is get in your car and drive over here.
But listen, I do help you with weather.
You
I
do?
know. This is the number one question I've been asked in the 11 years that we haven't worked together.
What is it?
Do you ever talk to Scotty Ray? And I talk to Scotty Ray every single day.
Yeah.
And sometimes we talk for hours on end. And a lot of times we share information. And sometimes I help you with your show.
Correct.
Behind the scenes.
Debbie writes a lot of the articles. If I'm in the middle of something, she'll write the article for
Mm-hmm.
me, send it back to me to where I can post it and do two things at once.
Right. And sometimes he sends me out what he calls my beat, which is my side of town. When there's a crime happening, he makes me go. And he doesn't care.
I said, just don't get
It's
shot, Debbie.
He just says, take your dog Charlie with you and don't get shot. I'm like, okay.
Debbie's good at these undercover pictures.
Well, I like to call myself a investigator or a PI because I I learned it on Facebook. You know, I can go deep into a Facebook and figure some stuff out.
Oh yeah, yeah.
And so, typically, when there's a crime here, I'm on it. My first thing is to look on Facebook to see if I see the person. You know,
Find out who they are.
Then I find out who their family is. Then I find out who their extended family is. So
Then we've got the answers to everything.
yeah.
It's the domino effect on that.
But yeah, I mean, wouldn't you say that's the number one question you get asked? You
Yes.
ever talk to Debbie? And yeah, we've remained friends all these years. Actually, a few years back, my husband and Scotty Ray were in Texas,
Yeah.
working together, and so yeah, our families have remained close. And
There's a lot of people.
friends.
We were in the armpit of America, where nobody wanted to visit.
Oh, and
It was-
what was the
we
name of
were-
it? It started with a P.
Pecos.
Pecos. Woo.
That's and I have been told that so many times. It's just in the middle of nowhere.
And no, if you came from there, I'm sorry, but it's just in one of those areas. Like you wonder, have you ever wondered why families migrate to those areas? I'm sure for a reason like jobs or something
Yeah.
like that, like oil. But why do you stay there? And why do their families stay there? And kind of like Death Valley, people live there.
Yeah, I don't know
And why
how.
do they not know? They don't know about the rest of America, and there's lush green areas that you don't have to
Yeah.
just about die every day.
It's in Texas is those areas. East Texas is kind of like here, looks
Yeah.
just like here. But when you get to West Texas, out there on that border, it is a totally different ball game.
It really is.
But me and Mike was out there
it's
for-
desert.
Yeah.
Really. Yeah.
Mike was with me for a couple of years there.
In that FEMA trailer.
Yeah, but Debbie bought him and said, "Here you go."
$2,000. That was the best deal of my life. It was.
Missing
It was
on-
brand new.
Yeah, you sold that, didn't you?
I did.
Okay.
Yeah.
You moved up, got you a bigger camper.
No, actually, that one was bigger. But those FEMA campers, they didn't put windows. Like they
Didn't think you needed to look
didn't
out.
spend. Well, no, they just didn't spend a lot of money on them, so they didn't put any. I mean, it had like one window in it,
Right.
And it was 33 feet. But yeah, the camper I have now is a lot cuter.
So, do you
and it's
enjoy the
23
camping world?
Love it. I love it.
I'm not. I hadn't been ate up with it, but I know a lot of people do.
Let me just tell you about my camping experience. My camper, it was completely redone, and I wish I could show you pictures of it, but it's real cute, and it's all
Cute pillows.
farmhouse cute, and all my dishes match, and all my stuff matches, and it's my little slice of heaven. And my husband, poor him, because I don't know how to ride my camper around, he has to drive it wherever I go and just drop it off. But I think he likes that. It's like, don't you want to take your camper for a week?
Yeah, it's time away from you.
Time for you. It's time for you to take that camper now. I don't mind dropping it somewhere. But anyway, yeah, I do love it. I love my camper.
A lot of people do, and it's like a little network out there of people that do
a
this.
mafia.
It is.
It's like a little mafia. I'm
They
going to tell
are.
you something. Some of these campsites, you got to watch these people. You have to really know somebody to get into.
To get a camper
Yeah,
spot.
to get a camper spot. So
Hey, Joyce Stamper, how you this morning? Remember she used to get me in all my tuxedos when we had to go places. Always had
that
one of
is.
these.
Hey, Joyce.
Yeah.
She dressed me up one time for the CMAs. I
Sweet.
remember that. She always dressed you guys. Mm-hmm. For
Tommy
those,
Long, Stonewall, Mississippi this morning.
look at all these folks.
Gail
Let's see.
Williams.
A lot of Joyces. That's a very popular name, huh?
It is there. Lawanda is up, Miss Grantham. She used to make you the angels there for your Christmas tree.
She sure did. I still use those angels. Thank you, Lord Wanda. I pull them out every year. I've got a ton of them. She made them every year, just about.
She did. I don't know about you, but yesterday I had to use a home remedy. Me and Dylan Ray had to move a refrigerator, and it had been against the wall. It died, and we were getting rid of it and putting a different one in. I got hit by a wasp. So I ran in and I got toothpaste, and I smeared it all over my arm. You know, it didn't swell.
Toothpaste?
Toothpaste stops it from swelling. Now, you can also use tobacco,
Right.
I'm
I was
told.
going to say, that's what, tobacco.
But the
Maybe I've
toothpaste,
heard
I'm
about
telling you,
toothpaste.
it truly works. I caked it on thick and not one bit of swelling. The mistake I made later was to be on the safe side. I thought, well, I'll take a Benadryl just in case.
Oh, that'll knock you out.
Flop.
Look, I can't take a half a Benadryl.
It is.
It knocks me completely out. Mike got stung. Do you remember that? One time he got into a nest, and he's very allergic. And Mike's the worst about going to the doctor. He will not go to the doctor for anything. And I kept checking on him. I was like, Mike, are you okay? And he was like swelling up everywhere and all that. But he survived, obviously. But he did the Benadryl, and I think tobacco everywhere.
Yeah, tobacco
And there was
will help.
something else we used. It seemed like there was another remedy. I can't
Clorox does it?
remember. No,
No,
Clorox
no?
is for poison ivy.
Okay,
I think.
all right. Well, I
Isn't
messed
it?
up on that.
Like people say, put a little Clorox in bath water for poison oak or poison ivy.
Yeah, I've heard
Kinda
that.
helps it.
Clorox
I've
also
never
good for the
tried it,
ticks.
but for ticks.
Yeah. Like if you get in ticks or red bugs, dump a Clorox in your bathtub and get in it. It kills them.
Whew, red bugs.
Keep that. Well, they're bad.
I got red bugs so bad one time. I was selling real estate, and these people were looking at this house. Gosh, where was it? But it was kind of out in the country.
Yeah.
And they were just taking a long time, so I sat down by this tree
Front row.
around my socks, around anything that was around, my waist. I had red bugs. It took forever to get rid of those things.
Dylan Ray said you left out the detail of needing to airlift that refrigerator. It was heavy.
The
Let me
refrigerator.
tell you,
Is that
it
the
was
refrigerator out there on the trailer?
That'd be it.
That's your new one?
No, that's the old one that we got rid of. Ooh, that was horrendous.
That's not your new one.
Scotty Ray, Debbie, y'all stay close. We'll be right back with more coming up today. We hope your day is going well. If you're getting ready to purchase land, make sure you have it surveyed. Contact our friends at the Woodlands Group. Maybe you're selling land, dividing land up. Whatever the case is, the Woodlands Group can help you there. They handle residential and commercial clients. And again, they specialize in property line location, site plans, and a whole lot more. Maybe you have a construction project, and they have the latest equipment to make sure it's done right, including drones. Call Justin Palmer or Brandon Briggs at the Woodlands Group, Surveying Solutions. Spring is here, and it's time to quit spending all of your weekend cutting grass when you could step up to a Skag zero-turn mower. Freeman Tractor in Collinsville has the #1 rated zero-turn mower, Skag, with cutting widths from 36 inches to 72 inches. Skag, the #1 choice of professional landscapers because they know nothing outcuts or outlasts a Skag. 0% financing for 48 months with payments starting as low as $129 a month. Stop by Freeman Tractor on Highway 494 and see coleslaw or buttermilk.
I love seeing them.
Robin Mosley said that the toothpaste draws that stinger out. It must, because it
does.
didn't swell.
I guess like the same as tobacco, right?
Yeah.
Look, Carolyn Smith.
What's Carolyn doing?
She says, "Good morning. Good to see you, Debbie." Brings back a lot of good memories. Carolyn, I mean, we always had her on our show.
Oh, yeah.
And I noticed the other day you made a comment about Carolyn.
What did I
looking
say?
all good. Her figure's still looking
Oh, she
great.
did. She was down there
I am
flirting with
so-
everybody in town.
I'm so impressed at how great Carolyn looks. She always is so put together, and I've always wanted to be that kind of put together person, but never could,
All right.
I'm just a hot mess 24/7. But Carolyn always, I think if you knocked on her door at 7 in the morning, she's going to be put together.
She is. She's got a designer nightgown, I'm told.
Oh, you were? What? Okay. Carolyn, I'm
Milkman
sorry.
told me that.
We shouldn't even brought you up, Carolyn.
Robin Mosley says taking baking soda for an itch in the bath gets rid of the itch there.
Oh, does it? I haven't tried that.
What was this about liquid Lysol? Michael Smith says
No.
liquid. What would that
I think
do?
somebody's trying to kill us. What do you do with liquid Lysol, Michael?
I'm curious about that. But it's
Like,
it's,
what is liquid Lysol? It's not the spray. It's like in a Lysol.
Is it like mouthwash Lysol? Don't they make what is
Do you
that?
use
That's
mouthwash?
Listerine. Oops.
Scotty Ray.
I knew it was one of those
I
things.
was like, I was wondering about your breath.
Oh boy.
Liquid Lysol.
Amy Barrett, good morning.
East Central Mississippi. Hey, Rod. Let's see. Who else we have here?
Amy watching us from Robertsdale, Alabama. Philadelphia. Look at there.
Wait a minute. Steak sauce for yellow jacket sting.
I ain't never heard that.
I haven't either.
Is it a particular?
Oh, I have heard the meat tenderizer
What does that do?
for stings.
Meat tenderizer?
It draws it out. I don't know. Maybe it's something the monosodium glutamate or something like that.
I've never heard that.
But I have.
Now,
heard
it's
that.
truly it is something all these home remedies that work. Mm-hmm. Steak sauce seasoning. There's another mention of that.
Oh, you put the liquid Lysol in your bath water for poison ivy.
Oh,
Yeah. Hey, that's my cousin Glenda.
hey Glenda.
Hey, Glenda.
Yeah, I had never met her, have I?
No, they all live in Tennessee.
Yeah, they just,
Hey, Meredith. I had to send her my hair this morning to see if it,
you
okay.
you done a quick one there.
because I wear it. I wear it in a top knot bun.
Now, Denise says tequila works good.
That's drinking it.
It's
so
good
you
for the
don't
heart.
notice.
Yeah, so you forget about that you're hurting.
Yeah.
Okay.
Hey, I do have to say, I just got over COVID. You know, I bypassed COVID this entire time.
And then
Never
you-
got it. And tested more than probably the average person. I was constantly testing because my mom, when I would go there, hey, Meredith, I see that big smile. Constantly testing and never had it. Even when I had like a sniffle or something like that, I'd take a test because I didn't want to give my mom. And there's my daughter, Katie. Hey, Katie. Anyway, but my mom passed away a couple of weeks ago, and unfortunately, we were all super spreaders. About 20 of us.
From
got
the
COVID.
funeral?
And I'm just now, and I still have some, I'm not positive anymore, but I still have like some lingering.
Everybody
after
says
effects.
that.
Yeah. Like
Now, I'm-
tiredness and, hey, Bill Malone.
I'm seeing this
Oh, we
all
need to
around
play
us.
that commercial we wrote for Bill that time.
What was that?
Apple bottom jeans.
Apple bottom. I don't remember.
Oh, you don't
that.
remember that?
I don't.
Where he had the snack shop over the,
Oh,
he worked for the attorneys.
You'd have
You
to-
do remember that?
I
still
remember
have it
we
on my
made a
phone.
bunch of commercials.
I had that on my phone. It's funny.
But a lot of people locally are starting to get COVID once again. I had a neighbor call me last night and said, "Hey, don't come see me because I got it." And we're seeing that spreading more and more. And
Well, let me tell you about this one. I guess it's that BA5, BA4 or something. I read up on it. It's a super spreader. I mean, it's very contagious, more so than the Omicron. And also, it breaks the barrier of people that just had it, that have antibodies and vaccinations. And so my nephew, who had it 2 or 3 weeks prior, got it again.
wow,
I mean, I'm telling you, when I say the day after my mom's funeral, we were dropping like flies.
everybody got it.
Everybody. First, it was Finn. He tested positive. And then my brother and his wife and stepson and his wife, they all had it.
And I don't
then
want
all
anybody
of us
to
had it.
think I'm knocking anything, but keep in mind this was a super spreader last year. All the fairs. Just keep in mind about
Yeah.
handshaking and staying in close encounters with people of the Neshoba County Fair.
I agree with you because, yeah, and that's coming up, the Choctaw Indian Fair,
Mm-hmm.
the Neshoba County Fair. And I know last year's variant was maybe a little more deadlier.
Yeah.
I hate to even say that. But this one, it seems to sweep through you pretty quick, but it does leave some lingering. You know, I still have a hoarse throat. I'm gonna say that's why my voice is so deep.
We had a comment on this, and I remember this as a kid. I'd forgotten about it. Rod Simmons says taking gasoline and rubbing it on a sting will work. I do remember that.
I mean, they sound like they're gonna kill you.
And then the jellyfish thing. Amy says
Don't rub a jellyfish on your.
she said take wet sand and rub on a jellyfish sting.
No, I've heard way worse than that for a jellyfish sting.
What do you rub on it?
I mean, you have to.
They hurt, don't
Can I
they?
say
I've never been stung by one.
A jellyfish, yeah. I mean, you know,
What is it? Because I don't know what you're talking about over here. I have no clue.
somebody put it on there. I'm not gonna say it. Everybody knows what you do to a jellyfish sting.
I have no clue.
You have no clue.
You know, it'd be like that time you told me about that word you and Jay did that I'd never heard of, and then I got on the air and repeated it.
What was the
That word menage word, and
menage a trois?
yeah, I didn't know what it meant.
Well, you're an easy target, Scotty Ray.
Yeah, y'all got me
Always
on
an
that.
easy target when it comes to words and things like that. Like I listen to you and Candace a lot of times, and I'm just thinking, what did he just say? What was it? And sometimes I get confused myself. You know, I think.
Well, I have had a habit
like
of.
when you say, what is the word you say so wrong? every
What is it?
time?
You got to think about it.
I've
She's
gotta
got to
think about
strain
it.
and
I
come
mean,
up
there's
with
so
it.
many of them, but there's one that you just tear it up every time to the point where I can't even remember what the word is.
Is that?
Yep,
Rick,
that's it.
Rick Gardner.
There's a nicer way to say it.
Urine.
You urinate on it. You've never heard that.
Never.
They say that's what they say to do.
Y'all all making this up, right?
No, I promise you. Look, Google it. Google it. Google. I mean, that's a doctor. Get the Google. Doctors.
Never in my life have I heard that.
Yeah. How could you live and not have heard that? I guarantee you, if we called Angie up here, she would.
Well, I don't go to the beach much, so I guess that's
I mean,
why I've never heard
look,
of that.
see, everybody
saying it.
knows.
I think it's a conspiracy.
Liquid Lysol is in a little brown bottle. My mama used to pour it in our bath water.
Ticks,
Oh,
mosquitoes, and red bugs.
Yeah.
Boy, I've learned a lot about that.
Yeah. Yeah, see, her husband said that.
Yeah, Debbie Davenport. Y'all, I
mean,
did not know
I always
this.
do that. I don't know why. You do?
Whew. Let's talk about a few things that's going on in the community, Deb. I do my best to keep up with what happens around us and let everybody know what's going on. We did have, and let me pull this up here and show this for everybody. We did have a mention of shots fired this morning. Someone heard it. No one was hurt. I want to remind you of that, but it doesn't change the fact that these things still happen in our community. Right here in the early morning hours, this is 40th Street, that old gas station set right here. This would be 1 block west of there, right in there. Now, no one was hurt, nothing damaged, but somebody did hear it.
Yeah. And, you asked me the other day, are we across that line of is it fireworks or is it gunshot?
Yeah.
I think that we've gotten past the firework phase. And now if you hear something, it's more than likely gunshot, and make sure you call it in.
Yeah, call the cops. Sawashi Creek this morning around Sawashi Court Apartments. That's behind the old mall. We had a shot reported in that area that somebody heard. Now, again, no one was hurt. No one was damaged with it that we know of at this time. But it did happen.
But there was a report, was it yesterday morning, of somebody actually being shot?
It was. This happened in Lauderdale, Mississippi. Well, just north of Lauderdale. And this is the story. We've got this on Sam Media if you haven't visited. Now, we don't know all the details yet, but this happened. If you get to Lauderdale and you take a right and you pass where the Ralph Morgan Rodeo Arena is, go north on Old 45, say 5 or 6 miles up there in the extreme northern portion of the county, a man was shot in the face. He was rushed to the hospital by a private car, and I think from there he was flown to Jackson for medical care. The serious gunshot wound. Now, there is rumor that the home was being robbed at the time and that possibly they were trying to take his PIN number to his credit cards. They're still investigating that. That is out there.
And also that a child was in the home.
Yeah, I've heard that also.
Yeah.
Now, Ward, I talked to him last night. He goes, give me some time. We're working on it to find out what is reality. And we'll hear from Ward hopefully today. And Sheriff Billy Solly know more about it.
The thing about it is when times get tough, people start
doing
stealing.
Bad things.
Yeah, they start stealing. They start, breaking in to get, like you said, somebody's credit card or
and
cash or whatever. But just be careful and keep those doors locked. That's about all you can do. And
as you say that, this is the next story that happened here.
Oh, yeah.
This happened at the country store. Everybody knows where the country store is. This is the scene here. As you look at this, they busted out this front door. Look at that. And this was just glass everywhere as we look at this.
And it was closed when that happened,
Yeah,
right?
2 a.m. is when they decided they wanted to break in. And they just rambled through. Here's a look at it right here. Look at that.
What a mess.
And what the big thing that they took was cigarettes. And they took a lot of that. Swisher
They gave
seeds.
them a smoke.
So if you see somebody with an extra 25 packs of Newport 100s today, you might want to call the cops and go, hey, Joe over here smoking a little bit extra.
Hey, not to change the subject, but did you hear where they're trying to get rid of menthol cigarettes?
Yes, Joe is on that. And, I used to do that.
Oh, yeah.
That was my favorite
Do you know
thing.
why?
Why? Don't tell me I'm fixing to die.
Tell me what you know why.
But it does something
And
bad
if
to your
anybody
lungs.
else knows why, but somebody told me, because I haven't really kept up with it, but somebody told me it's because they feel like because it's flavored, that it's more attractive to children, and they're trying to get rid of menthol for that very reason.
Didn't know that. Now, with this same thing, I want y'all to keep in mind with this is the investigators are, with Lauderdale County on this too. But I'm also told this is not the first time that these people have done this. This is about the 8th business that's been broke into with the same MO. What they do is the first thing they do, and where they messed up here was they go and take out the power to the building in hopes of killing all cameras. They go to the breaker box, break into it, and short it out to where it kills all the power. Pretty smart.
That is pretty smart.
What they
You just
didn't
told them how to
realize,
do it.
well, what they didn't realize is they have battery backup cameras here at the country store. So
Good.
they still have pictures of you, and odds are you're going to be caught. But this is within the city limits of Meridian, I'm told, at least 8 businesses done the same way. So we've got serial robbers, so to
Well,
speak.
see, with my alarm system at home, if my power goes out, I get alerts. I mean, immediate alerts. Don't you?
Yes.
Yeah. So I'm sure they got alerted immediately. I don't have to have battery backup or anything like. It says there's been a break in your service or whatever, not from the power company,
Right, from your camera
but
system.
from my security. Yeah.
But it was 4 people involved in this that go in, they rush in, they break in, they take what they want out the door. And what they're doing, cigarettes and things like that are easy trades, easy swaps for other things that they want. And there's no secret around town that there is a bad batch of those that are on it. Drugs, there's a bad batch in town. You watch these people doing this on the street corners and it's happening. They're on it.
Yeah. I saw one. I was getting gas yesterday morning. As a matter of fact, you owe me some money for gas. Just joking. Since you're not paying me. No, I was getting gas at Walmart, and there was a girl out there it was pitiful.
Was it?
Oh, she didn't know what she was doing, and I guess what you call tweaking.
Twerking?
No, not twerking. She was tweaking. Twerking is where you do the...
Oh, yeah, the rear end thing.
The rear end thing. Like that, the woman running for whatever office, she was twerking.
The senator.
Senator, yes.
She's an
she said she
actual
is not sorry either. She said, she said, I'm trying to shake things up.
I watched it, and she should
got
be
the
sorry.
publicity.
Oh, she
didn't have to have anybody. That was... If you could put yourself out there. I mean, she got more publicity than any other politician.
She did?
So...
By twerking.
I don't know. What is it they always say? Any publicity is good.
That's what Earl used to tell us.
Yeah.
Earl Aycock used to tell us, just say my name right is what he'd say.
He said, it doesn't matter what they say about me. It's all good.
Just say my name right. Spell it right.
She said, twerking, LOL, Scotty Ray. It's not twerking, it's tweaking.
Dylan brought up a minute ago, he wanted you to say Swisher Sweets 5 times in a row, see if you could do it. I'm not going to do that.
Swisher Sweets, Swisher Sweets, Swisher Sweets, Swisher Sweets. I did it better than you.
Yeah, I'll say the wrong word. I'm not even going.
Oh, did I say it?
No, you did.
Switcher. If I try to say it exactly right.
It's tough.
Swishers. Is it Swisher Sweets or Switzer?
Well, it's SWISHER. How do you say it?
Swisher.
Swisher.
So I did say it. Swisher Sweet. No, I can't.
It is fun to do those things.
She said she was doing the Watusi.
That twerking thing.
Hey, Chris Reed. Twerking.
What's up, Chris, doing?
I thought it was called tweaking.
I thought it was twerking. Tweaking is when you work on something. You got to tweak it a little bit. What did you get confused about?
Okay, so Chris Reed is when I was talking about the girl that was tweaking, not twerking. When you're on drugs and they're out there doing that crazy stuff,
they're
that's
tweaking.
They're tweaking. Yeah.
See, I didn't know that word.
Tweaking can be if you're on drugs and out of your mind, and tweaking can also be if you're,
working on something.
I'm tweaking this.
Yeah, I tweak things that way.
Yeah.
I didn't know it had a double meaning there.
We learned something, huh?
Yes, we did. Chris Reed, shouldn't you be somewhere investigating something?
Tweakers. Anyway, why are we even talking about
I don't know, because somebody brought it up. And if you're watching from television for the first time, you can join us online and talk to us while we're live here. Scotty Ray Report or on
what did
YouTube.
Dylan just say? Dylan, stop it.
He's funny there. But you can also join us on YouTube at Sam Media. That's one of the places you can join us as well. Also, I wanted to bring this up. I spoke with Rush Mayett, and also we had they opened back up Bunton Gun Road, which is the connection from Highway 493 over to Highway 39. The problem was after it was open, they put down all the gravel, and then lo and behold, the gravel was so thick that people were getting stuck. Now, let me show you this. They've since closed the road. I'm sure signs will go back up. But this is the scene of someone getting stuck there over the weekend and having to be pulled out of it.
Oh.
And the car just wouldn't go through it. So if you were going along there, keep that in mind.
So too much gravel.
Yeah, it was too much gravel.
So what are they going to do? Just take some of the gravel off before they reopen it?
Yeah, they're going to repave it in a few days, and they said that they would adjust this in 2 days and have it where it's open back up. But for safety concerns, with it being so loose, it didn't pack. They reclosed it again.
There was a restaurant, or there still is a restaurant at Gulf Shores or Orange Beach, and part of the parking lot is sand, or it used to be a long time ago. And I know Katie Alexander remembers this. But she accidentally pulled into that spot, into the sand spot to park.
Right.
This was years ago. Her car, you couldn't even open the doors of her car. It got that deep in the sand.
Ooh.
Had to get a tow truck. Yep. Hey, Christy. Hey, Bobby.
She tried to call you last night.
She did. I'm sorry. I was already in my zone of trying to get some sleep because I knew I had to get up early. Katie's like, oh, sorry. But she did. Her car was so stuck.
And
that's a phone call a teenager just does not want to make.
To mom and daddy.
Sorry.
The Hangout also.
Oh, the Hangout. That was it. Yeah.
The Hangout.
No. It wasn't the Hangout. It's across from the... Is there a place called Bushwhackers or no? Not
That's Jan
Bushwhackers.
Bushman.
Yeah, that's Jan Bushman.
Yeah.
Katie, what was the name of that place?
Think on it. Hey, I want to keep everybody in mind with this. We're talking about roads. I-20 today, there's going to be a shift. This is going to be just east of town. They're replacing a bridge there at mile marker 156, and they're going to shift traffic to the median as the lanes will be closed down. And we all know what happens when you shift traffic in Meridian, Mississippi. It's going to be a cluster there for a little while. Things will slow down
Somebody's
to a
gonna be
crawl.
going. Yeah, that's gonna be tough.
It is.
That
More
is.
on the way with Scotty Ray and Debbie as we start this morning. Already 8:30.
Does that feel so natural?
It does.
To say Scotty Ray and Debbie?
We did it for 16,
20 years.
It was 20.
Yeah.
Right at it.
Yeah.
All added together. Boy, oh boy,
The
oh
old
boy.
SR&D.
Yes, it was. More on the way. Y'all stay close. The Piggly Wiggly of Collinsville is passing along these great savings. 1 pound of fresh strawberries, 2 for $5. Fresh peaches, $1.99 a pound. Tomatoes, $1.99 a pound. And fresh corn, a 3-pack, $1.79. Assorted pork chops, $1.79 a pound. And certified Angus beef New York strip steak, family pack, $10.99 a pound.
And we're down home, down the street, Piggly Wiggly.
At the Back Porch, we're bringing families back together for fun, food, and all the things you love to enjoy around your home. Every event starts with a great grill, great cookware, and accessories. Add in some locally sourced meat and dairy, along with frozen vegetables and casseroles, and over 500 brands of spices and sauces. Relax in our chairs, swings, daybeds, and have fun with our cornhole boards. From coolers to trailers, we have everything you need. When you see the big chair, you've made it to the Back Porch.
You know, somebody brought up the Floribama, and I remember when Joel called us, Joel Payne.
We did a thing there.
Yeah, I had never heard of a mullet toss.
Yes,
and he goes,
we
"I
did.
want y'all to do a promotion for Budweiser," and it was the mullet toss, and I was like, "What is a mullet?" Number one, but they chunk fish down there.
Yeah,
That's
it's a yearly
huge-
thing. It's huge. We did a contest. How did that work?
I forget what we done, but
Because
they got
we even got the Margaritaville involved.
Yeah.
We got Bushwhackers, Margaritaville. Is that the name of it? Not Margaritaville. What is the restaurant? Yeah, Margaritaville. Anyway, we did a huge promotion.
It was.
And I think they got a condo.
They got a weekend
did get a
stay,
condo.
and it was fun.
We used to do some good promotions.
Yeah.
Some good prizes.
Budweiser used to work with us in many, many ways that truly was fun. We appreciate it when Joel was here in town. I enjoyed working with him. What?
My favorite was the time that I don't even know what the promotion was, but it was back when we had that limo service that would like take us places, you know. And it was that young guy, he's older now, obviously. He's probably like 50 now. But remember he kept saying talk. Do you remember that? So he won, and we were going to a concert in Jackson in a limo, and it was like Ride with the Breakfast Bunch.
Are you
or something.
talking about the worm eating contest?
Yes, worm eat.
What would you do to beat Alan Jackson?
And the guy that won ate worms to win.
Yeah,
So
8
he
of
won.
them.
He won.
And his name is
But now
Brandon.
we're sitting there looking and go, we got to ride with him. This dude just ate worms. And he kept making us talk. Remember?
Yeah. So he goes,
He would
"Oh."
say, so you guys talk, so it just sounds just like the morning show. And so that's what we had to do. We were just like little monkeys talking.
It's funny that you bring him up. I ran into him a couple of months ago.
He was the nicest guy.
Yeah. But, and it was, we had somebody shave their legs. We had the Jello.
She was on a horse and
Yeah.
shaved her legs.
You remember the Jello mud wrestling thing that they did the girls to
It was
win the
Jello wrestling. There was
Yeah.
no mud involved. I don't even know why you said mud.
Because it sounded, men would wonder why.
It was Jello wrestling.
Yeah.
And she filled it full of Jello.
Yep.
And
It was good.
you wanted her to win.
I did, but the
She
worms
didn't.
just
But
took the show.
And I can't remember why it took the show. Because he did something special with the worm thing. I don't know. It
In
was
all my
disgusting.
years, I'd never witnessed anything. But that was and we did, it seems like we done a Jello eating contest with Bill Etheridge, Lincoln Mercury one time. We did, to win something.
Not a Jello eat.
Yeah, it was put your hands behind your back and eat as much Jello.
Oh, yeah, we did.
In the mall.
Yeah. Was that at Rick Justice?
No, it was Bill Etheridge. That
Bill
was back in the day.
All I think
We
about
gave
Rick
away a
Justice.
car with,
Rick Justice, I always think about the time when I had to go in and ask Rick Justice if he would give us a car to give away. And we were sitting in this business meeting, And he was like really not wanting to do it. And I just kind of went, pretty please. And he said, okay. And I was like, oh my gosh, is
Pretty
that the
please
closing deal? I'm going to use that every time I do something. Because remember, I was like, pretty please.
Oh, that
And
was.
he gave it to us.
That
We
was
gave away
that was
car.
fun.
Yeah. We used to do some fun stuff.
Oh, we even done the charity thing, if you remember that time, to where you get to take a sledgehammer and beat a car. Do you remember that?
That was fun.
Yeah. If you
Everybody got to
hit it.
beat the car. And I know you and Candace were talking about Dunkin' booths the other day.
Yeah.
And how you said, no, I've never done one. But do you remember you always signed me up for that
Oh,
stupid
absolutely.
stuff? Remember the pie in the face thing? And I thought I'd never forgive you for that. It was some kind of contest. We used to do the fair back in the day. That's how old we are. Back when the fair at the fairgrounds.
Correct.
And somebody had a pie throwing contest. I don't know. But I got nominated.
Yep.
And I had more pies thrown in my face. But it was for charity, so I did it.
Yeah.
Which you wouldn't do it.
No, I wouldn't. I had to draw a line somewhere.
I mean,
Iris
but-
Downey says you sent me to the CMA Awards. I remember her
We
winning
sure
that.
did. Iris. I know. That was fun. CMA Awards were always fun.
Oh, they were.
Yeah.
You just had to stay up all night and then talk the next morning was the rough
That
thing.
was the roughest part of it.
Because so much
you
went
have
on.
a picture here, I think, of us at the CMA Awards.
Yeah, it
With Alan Jackson.
It's right behind your head.
Is it?
Yeah.
Where's my head?
It's right behind your chair there.
Okay. Anyway, but the CMAs. I mean, it wasn't even just the CMAs. It was the parties we got to go to afterwards.
Yeah, that's what the
And
real thing was.
Yeah, that's where you got to sit down with the stars. And, I mean, it was just an intimate setting. It wasn't like these were huge parties.
Back
these
then.
were small, intimate settings with maybe 50 people, 60 people. And you had Faith Hill or Brooks and Dunn and, who else was there? I mean, there's not anybody that we didn't meet. I met Britney Spears.
Yeah, she was there.
And who else? Who was Britney with? Justin Timberlake.
Yeah, Timberlake.
She was dating him at the time.
And I go, Debbie, who's that?
You didn't know
I didn't
either
know.
one. You didn't know either one of them.
Those people.
Alabama.
Yeah, Alabama. Good bit of it. And, I remember me and you sitting with Kenny Chesney when he was nobody at a dinner. He had nobody to sit with.
He sat with
us.
us. And he was y'all, he was so little.
Little bitty fella.
Because I'm kind of tall for a woman, and I was really shocked at how small he was. And I'm gonna tell you, Martina McBride, my friend and I said, this was Martina. This is
That's
Martina.
true.
She was this big. So if you see somebody on TV that looks
Skinny?
normal size, they're this big. Like you see me right now.
What do we see?
And I'm really skinny in real life, but see, you see a larger person.
Joey says there ain't been a decent concert in Meridian since y'all got out of radio. Those were the good old days.
There hasn't? Oh, there's been some concerts. When I broke my leg, my friend picked me up in a wheelchair, and we went to the Riley Center. Thank you, Carrie. She got me out of the house, and I got to ride that little weird elevator in the
Yeah,
Riley. You know what I'm talking
I
about? Where
do.
they shoot you in that little thing, and it was Carrie, what was it?
I have no idea what it was.
I'll think of it in a minute.
I do know that I
have
went to
COVID brain.
watch Diamond Rio, and I sat down and I thought, who are those people? And I stared, and they're gray-headed. They don't look. I was expecting what you see on the videos of Diamond Rio. Bubba Hyde and all of those songs, Meet in the Middle, and they look nothing like
Oh, you're
they
talking
used-
about the nowadays.
Yeah, because I sat there and I thought, who are they? And they
I
just
mean, it's a
look so
hard pill to
different.
swallow, especially. But people age, obviously.
Obviously,
People age. But it was the Beatles. It was the Beatles.
lookalikes.
They did some kind of Beatles show.
Yeah, it was a tribute.
A tribute. That's what it was. I really do have COVID brain, but or I'm just always like this.
Oh,
but
it
yeah,
happens.
it was really good, and they do have a lot of good concerts here. They're just not
We
the
just did
size that we used to do them.
We always
The
tried to do the
outdoor
bigger
things.
and the better type shows. And I have to say this because his name's been brought up. Of all the shows that we've ever done that we work with the artist, I tip my hat, and God rest his soul, he's gone on. But Charlie Daniels, was he not the ultimate
That
nice
was the
guy?
best concert.
Just
Was
heartfelt.
that the one where I fell down? So embarrassing.
5,000 people.
5,000 people, and I fell out on the floor. And I
tripped.
just got up. I got up and acted like nothing happened and walked up on stage. I was so embarrassed. That was so awful.
That does happen.
That was him. That was
Charlie Daniels. What a
we
show.
were bringing
Taylor Swift.
Taylor Swift when we left radio. We actually had the signed contract.
We did.
And we bailed out in the middle of the night and went our separate ways.
We did.
In radio. And, so we had to tear that contract up.
Yeah, it was one of those things. There's right and wrong in the world, and that was one of those.
We did right.
Yeah, so things that you can't get into, but we had to go, and you have to choose. If you stay somewhere, then you're saying it's okay to do wrong, and we couldn't do it.
Yeah.
So
those people aren't around anymore.
Yeah,
so
they're out of business. They left in the middle of the night, owing everybody.
Yeah, but that was sad because we really had to negotiate that contract.
Yeah.
I mean, she was, and a year later, she was $1 million.
Yep.
And now she's probably like $5 million.
There is no telling what she gets.
But I was, and we would play. One of the things I loved about it is before a concert, we would start playing all these songs. So by the time you got to that concert, you knew every single song on their on their playlist, and you knew the words. So that was fun.
It was. Let's take a minute and talk about our friends over at the Lauderdale County Farm Supply. You're going to find them right there, exit 151. Drop in. Lots of T-shirts. And believe it or not, if you want to do some work around the yard, they've got everything there for you. From taking one of your grandkids fishing, maybe it's your son.
I didn't even know they had the fishing stuff. My husband's going to have to go over there.
Lures and a whole lot more there. Sod for that hard-working guy that's got to replace a bald spot in the yard, or maybe you don't have any grass at all. We got all your decor for your backyard porch. Yeah, get you some patio furniture. And, of course, something to make it look better. Spruce it up. We've got that along with the flowers to give you that curb appeal. There's a bunch of it, Debbie.
Mm-hmm. You know, some of our best times were at the Lauderdale County Farm Supply, giving away a ton of corn.
Yeah.
It would attract huge crowds.
It was.
For 1 ton of corn.
Yep. Can't beat it.
I mean.
And speaking of that, they got tons of corn there. See them with work boots and a whole lot more. See them there for your pet supplies. Exit 151 right off the interstate. You name it, they've got it. Guns, ammo, and a whole lot more since 1932. Drop in and visit with them today. You'd be glad that you did. Spring is here, and it's time to quit spending all of your weekend cutting grass when you could step up to a Skag zero-turn mower. Freeman Tractor in Collinsville has the #1 rated zero-turn mower, Skag, with cutting widths from 36 inches to 72 inches. Skag, the #1 choice of professional landscapers because they know nothing outcuts or outlasts a Skag. 0% financing for 48 months with payments starting as low as $129 a month. Stop by Freeman Tractor on Highway 494 and see coleslaw or buttermilk.
One of the most important places to you is your home. That's why Patrick Allen Companies is proud to provide style, functionality, and security to your home. There's nothing quite like a well-designed overhead garage door or vinyl replacement windows, or the safety of a storm shelter to help your family feel protected. Patrick Allen offers doors and windows for commercial and industrial with dozens of innovative designs. Patrick Allen Companies, safety, service, and satisfaction.
Welcome back, Scotty Ray and Debbie on this Monday morning. It is July the 11th.
Already. This year's going so fast. My friend said, don't lie. You're normally sharp as a tack. Nothing gets past Deb. Nothing really does get past me. Now, it might take me a while, the older I get, to...
That's why we had so many fights.
I know. Well, except for that one time I convinced you. I'm really good about thinking I'm right about things.
Well, you had the whole table, if you're talking about where we all went to lunch.
I had an entire table convinced of something that I really thought was right, and I changed every person's mind. And then found out later I was wrong. I know, I wouldn't shut up. But look, there's a lot of... I went to Michael Bolton. I was in love with Michael Bolton back in the day. Not so much now, but I was in love with him. When a Man Loves a Woman, didn't he do that?
Maybe. Well,
yeah, he did a remake of it.
Wow.
Charlie Daniels. I sang with Charlie Daniels one time at PB's. That was Wayne Stevens. That's cool.
Dylan said he went to that Michael Bolton. He was the only guy there.
Oh, did you? Oh, Dylan, I loved Mike. I bet he was the only guy. Everybody loved
Because it's a woman thing with that.
Oh, yeah. Remember my friend Dixie? She used to call Michael Bolton a lapso-apso or something like that. Some kind of dog with long hair.
I don't know that one.
Yeah. Because, he had that long curly hair.
He did have long hair.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. I loved him. I'm sorry, Dylan,
Donna
you had to
White
go to that.
says we need to revisit Mary Hope again. Those were the
No.
days of doing those haunted houses.
No, not now. No. I couldn't do that now.
You
We
couldn't?
did a lot of those haunted houses.
I enjoyed them.
I did. What did we do above the Meridian Star in that building?
Pigford building.
The Pigford building. That was a good one. Yeah.
Had fun there.
That was a really good one. And whenever we went to the to the
Natchez?
Natchez.
Natchez.
Yeah.
That was a
Yeah.
lot of fun there also. Let's see. We found out this morning a judge is in a little bit of trouble in Seattle, Washington. Normally, a judge keeps their comments to themselves as they sentence somebody. But as sentence was being passed, he pointed out that, well, Bubba,
This is
you're
awful.
going to be somebody's girlfriend in jail is what he told him.
Well, they got in trouble for it, too.
Yeah, he's been
I
written
mean,
up.
that's just saying, I can't believe a judge said that.
I know.
He basically said, you're gonna get raped when you go.
Yeah, that's what he said.
But got in trouble for saying it. So.
Yeah, they've written a judge up for saying what he was
I
thinking.
really can't blame. What is this? Sang with him at Plant 7 in Broadmoor. What was Plant 7?
You got me on that one? Or unless it was Peavy. Peavy Plant 7, I
Okay,
bet
so somebody just mentioned the Blake Shelton and Trace Atkins concert.
Yeah.
That was one of my fun ones because that's when we first got the excursion. And you could put like 700 people in the
Oh,
excursion.
yeah, back in 2000.
And so it was my job to pick Blake Shelton up at the airport. And so I let my daughter and her friends that wanted to see him because they all loved him. And he had that back then he was with that girl Kat.
Yeah, that was
I don't
his
know if
manager.
They weren't married yet. Right?
Right, not at that point.
They were boyfriend and girlfriend. But anyway, I let the girls go, and it was just a great day. And they got to see the concert. And do you know we still have the excursion? And Mike still drives that excursion. It's 23 years old. And I still talk about how Blake Shelton was in that excursion at one time. I used to drive all of them
You did?
in it. Yeah.
We'll never.
It's a very famous excursion.
Montgomery Gentry is, and you look back on those guys. They truly were just one of us. What you see is what you get with those two.
Montgomery Gentry?
Yeah.
They made me drive them around.
Hunting fun.
And a funnel for drinking. Yeah.
That's the life.
They made me take them to all the hardware stores, and they were building a funnel
Yep.
I guess that's what it's called, a funnel.
Yeah, you have the long tube.
Yeah, they were fun. They were a lot of fun.
Something else.
Yeah.
60,000 jobs are going to get slashes in pay with the U.S. Army. I don't know. Have you seen
I
this?
was gonna say, I hope it's not
because they didn't get the COVID shot. Is that right? Should they be able to do that to them? It's almost discrimination.
I don't think, in my opinion, I did get vaccinated. I'm double vaccinated, and got
Tried
the
to get a third
boosters.
one.
And but I think it's everybody's personal choice, just like the flu shot or whatever. I mean, you do you.
Correct.
But I did it.
But
And
they're going to cut their pay. That's
didn't stop me from getting COVID now, did it?
No, it did not, did it?
But maybe I could have been sicker. Who knows? You don't know.
We look at the state of America. This next story, this happened in Manhattan. And Manhattan is a more upscale part of New York. A few women went into a restaurant. They made an order, and they wanted an extra sauce. It was $1.79. They told them it'd be $1, and they get mad. And they start trashing the place, Debbie. Tore it up, caused $20,000 worth of damage over $1.79 because they want to pay it. And then after they tore up the place, they got on top of the bar and twerked.
Where do you find these stories?
I find these stories.
Well, I mean, where do you find these stories?
I know people who know people.
Okay, so speaking of a restaurant, I told you this story. This happened to me just the other day. I was coming back July 4th from Tennessee.
Yeah.
I was still kind of suffering from my COVID. you
Yeah.
know. I was still not feeling great, but I was negative. I like to always end it with, but I was negative. And I like to stop at Crystal's. I don't eat meat, but I like to stop at Crystal's and get Crystal cheeseburgers, take the meat off,
Right.
eat the part that didn't get that juicy stuff from the bun. And you know what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
I take that off, and Charlie gets the meat.
That's your puppy dog.
That's my puppy dog. And so that I was going to stop it. I stopped at Crystal's in Athens, Tennessee. Oh, no, Athens, Alabama. I pull up, and I notice a lot of the places right now don't let people inside the restaurant. You have to go around to the drive-thru.
Yeah.
So I pull up, and I see this man beating on the front door, and I'm thinking, oh, he just forgot. You know, they didn't put his ketchup or something in there. And I pull on around, I place my order, and they take my order. I pull on around, I'm the only car, and I hear this screaming and yelling through the window, and I'm yelling through there. I'm through the drive-thru. I'm saying, "Are you okay? Are you okay?" And they said, "Take your food. Get out of here." Somebody said they were going to shoot the place up.
That'll make you leave.
I said, "Well, here's my card." And they said, "No, get out of here." He just called. It was a man beating on the door. So I was like, I felt bad because I really wanted my drink and my ketchup, and they didn't give it to me. But I did get my free food, and I got out of there. But by the time I made it out of the parking lot, the police were swarming that place.
Smart decision.
But I got free food, no ketchup, no drink.
What is becoming of America? Oh, have mercy.
But I look back, and I even got you to look back. I guess the guy, I think that he just didn't get what he wanted.
And got mad.
And that's what he did.
Threatened.
What is wrong with people
I
today?
get you.
But hey, sorry, dude, but I got some free food. I bet he didn't.
He didn't. Godwin Cleaning Services. You'll find them here in Meridian. If you need anything clean, Debbie, this is the way they do it. This is Watkins Hospital. Look at the difference, how much cleaner that looks.
Oh, wow.
You can get your house done if you've got vinyl siding, if you've got it just completely changes it. You can get set up on a yearly, bi-yearly, or if you need it every month, something clean. Roofs. Look at the big difference.
I'm going to tell you, I mean, this is something that really everybody should experience, because when they come out and clean, it makes your house feel like brand new.
It does.
If you've ever walked outside of your house and you just feel like, ugh, everything seems so dreary and not clean, this is a game changer.
It does.
Look at that.
It's perfect. And, of course, it takes away that slip. If you
It's
want to
like
do
a
that.
brand new house right there.
Latest equipment, they'll soft wash it. 253-8262. Godwin Cleaning Services. They're great folks. See them today. They'll tell you more about this and how you can save money and make your place look better.
It's just as important for a family to have their yard mowed before a birthday party as it is for someone to get hay out of the field before rain comes. They're both that important to us.
Dealing with Parish is not just a product, it's the people that are there to help you. They're kind of like family, and it's just kind of like having another partner out here on my land.
Rockhouse Gun and Pawn is having a 10-year anniversary celebration blowout. Absolutely no sales tax on used firearms. 25% off all gun cleaning and gun care accessories. And a free box of ammo with every purchase of a new Glock pistol. 50% off all pawn electronics. 50% off on pawn tools. 25% off on all jewelry. Huge markdowns throughout the store. It's the Rockhouse 10-year anniversary celebration blowout. 5430 Highway 19 North. And welcome back, Scotty Ray and Debbie, as we do this Friday. I got off track this morning. We didn't do this earlier, but let's go back on this day and time. You remember Zsa Zsa Gabor?
I love Zsa Zsa.
1919, she was born on this date.
And Eddie Albert. That was one of my favorite shows.
Green Acres is a place.
Green Acres is a place to be.
Who remembers watching the TV show Match Game?
I watched it religiously. If you stayed out of school,
Yep.
skip school, look at her smoking that cigarette.
And that's what I was going to point out. Look at this. You don't see that on television anymore.
No,
that was
that was very common. Very common. I was talking to somebody about it the other day. Smoking in a hospital.
Yep.
Smoke on an airplane. And people didn't complain.
Nope.
Like if you got on an airplane back in the
70s.
late 70s, people lined up right beside you. There was an ashtray built in.
It was.
Person beside you didn't smoke. They didn't care.
But boy, how times have changed. They would shut down anything now.
You'd go to prison if you smoked on it.
Do you remember this guy watching the Magnificent Seven? Anybody remember this?
Yeah.
Yul Brynner was born on this date back in 20.
That would make him 102 if he were still alive.
Oof. Didn't look at it that way. And this is a heartthrob
Loved
of
him.
yours. You remember this guy?
I loved him so much. If I have any cousins on here, they know. We all loved him.
Ed Everett. He was like the doctor
He
of
was.
the day.
So good looking.
Let's see. Anybody remember the Nitty Gritty Dirt Band?
I do, and I listen to the Nitty Gritty Dirt Band, but I don't know any of them individually.
That's
if that
Jeff
makes
Hanna.
sense.
He's the lead singer for them. Dance, Little Gene, Fishing in the Dark. Y'all remember all that? Willis Circle, Being Broken was one of their biggest ones. He's celebrating a birthday today. And this came out in 1960. This was a huge movie. The book was
Gregory
published on this
Peck.
day.
Gregory Peck. Such a good-looking man.
Yeah, To Kill a Mockingbird was the name of that
Great
one.
movie.
This one, I think we all gathered around to watch this as it came on television. Who remembers this?
The Newlywed Game. And they revised it.
Have they?
Well, I mean, maybe not lately, but it seems like they had
A
some
newer
newer
version?
Yeah.
And you would have
And
to
that could have been 20 years ago, and I just think it was newer because time really is flying by.
really tested your knowledge of your spouse after you married him. 1967, this little boy would get a start. And he would be a hippie at this point. I called him a hippie, and he would later change his style.
Kenny Rogers, to me, my mom had all the albums,
Yeah.
And the first edition?
Yeah.
And the Ruby, Don't Take Your Love to Town.
I can hear the slamming of the door.
At the very end of it, how's it go? Oh, gosh, how does that end go?
Talking about where
it's
I
very
took my gun and
dramatic.
put her
The
in the
end-
ground.
Put her in the ground. So anyway, but I used to sit and write down because back then you didn't have any other way to do it. I'd put the album, put the needle on, listen to a few words, write down the words, pick it back up, put it back down, and I'd do that until I'd write down all the words to
Yeah.
the entire album. And I would memorize songs that way because you didn't have Google to go to. And
No, you didn't.
You didn't know the lyrics and if you didn't, and sometimes you wrote them down wrong, and that's how a lot of people got the wrong lyrics to a lot.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So, but
George
Ruby was
Strait.
my favorite.
Look at this. Who remembers this? This was number one back in '87. Whoo, time
Still
has
a big
flown.
song.
Yeah, it's still played.
And he just played at the one of the rodeos
That's right. He sure did.
and had a huge crowd. Yeah.
You remember Night Court?
Yeah.
He passed away on this day. Charlie Robertson died on this date
Good
back in
show.
21. I enjoyed that show. Already, boy, this morning has flown by. We're almost at the end of it. You got to come back now tomorrow because we ain't talked about everything.
We'll see.
Karen said thanks for the memories this morning.
I know all the great comments. Thank you so much, everybody. Just really a lot of great comments, and a lot of these folks listened to us back in the day, and they know the stories. They listened, and anyway, it's great.
Don't forget about the traffic jam or traffic delay a little bit later on I-20 beginning at noon as they'll shift lanes. That's coming up there. And as always, if you see something, report it to us here online. Scotty Ray will report, or you can send it to us through YouTube. And
I enjoyed it.
yeah, thank you for dropping by. Right now, we're getting to about 77. We're going to hit about 94 today. Again, we want to say thank you, Deb. Thank you for coming in and visiting with
Thanks
us.
for inviting me.
All right, we'll see y'all back tomorrow morning, bright and early.
The Scotty Ray Report is brought to you by our following partners: